got an absolute corker of a video lined up and I'm so excited about this. Newcastle United have a set of supporters called WOR Flags who organise and set up the big flag displays in St James's Park every home game. So do you want to know how they go about it, how they get it all organised and set up? It's coming up. Hello, my name's Eddie, welcome back to my channel Tyneside Life, and if you don't know, I'm inside St James's Park, the home of Newcastle United, the cathedral on the hill, this magnificent stadium, and we're getting ready for the match against Arsenal on Monday, the last home match of this unbelievable season. And I'm here with the WOR Flags supporters group of Newcastle United who organise and display these magnificent banners and flags for every home game. I'm going to find out exactly how it all happens and how they get it all set up. And to do that, I'm going to be interviewing a guy called Chris Heron. Chris, thanks very much for joining me on Tyneside Life. Can you first of all tell me how and when did the WOR Flags all start?
So WOR Flags started in around 2016. It was in its original guise, it was Gallagher Flags. It was started out by a few fans who were contacted by the club, and basically they got in touch with like-minded fans who thought they would like to get behind some of the positive energy when Benitez sort of came, and it was getting like-minded fans who would like to come in and sort of boost the atmosphere and do something a bit visual to try and make a positive vibe around the stadium and pick the team up. And then from there it kind of developed into WOR Flags. There was another group that we got involved with called WOR at the time, and a lot of their members are still part of the group. Whereas the initial guys who started with Gallagher Flags kind of took their own path and took a separate way, if you like.
So initially, how many fans were involved in the initial setup?
So there was probably several sort of 10, 12 maybe. It's like sort of around that region, if you like. And generally, it did start out fairly small and small scale. So I think the first game that we did was Huddersfield at home. And it was all the sort of small waiver flags that we now use all around the stadium. It started out with that in the Gallagher end, and just to save black and white, I guess, was the initial thing, and then we've tried to move on to bigger, better and different things. Yeah.
Chris, this obviously costs quite a bit of money to fund and get set up. Where does the money come from? How does it all work?
So it's fan funded, by and large. Nearly everything we do is fan funded, and we do heavily rely upon the supporters and the fan base to get us by with the different displays that we do. We are looking at different methods of producing banners that we do. So you'll have seen in the past we do some painted banners. We've started doing a few sort of vinyl ones this year. It's kind of getting that balance between cost versus man hours and getting that sort of balance right. But everything that we do is largely down to the fans, so it's without them I couldn't do any of it really.
There's clearly quite a lot of work and creativity involved in this. So in the flag making process, who does the designs and what happens?
So there's one lad in particular, Dan, who does a lot of the designs, and he's done a lot of the designs on certainly the printed work that we've done. When it comes to the painted stuff that we do, there's a lot more like involvement, I suppose, from the team, because it's less skilled, so to speak. Someone's not having to go onto a computer and do all the Illustrator sort of stuff. So Dan's done a lot of it, but then it gets put to the main group. So I go through a concept phase, if you like, and everyone chucks in every wild and wonderful ideas. There's often a lot of debate around that, and then Dan goes away and knocks something up that we sort of agree with in the majority, and then we all do some fine tweaks and stuff. So we all have a bit of banter about it, because there's always like lots of last minute tweaks and ways just to get it right, almost perfect.
Yeah. So forgive the stupid question, how actually do you do the designs? Is it somebody with a pencil and a paper, or is it done on some sort of computer program? So
it's finalised on a computer program for the printed stuff. It's all done, I wouldn't know the program if I'm honest, but it's probably like Adobe Illustrator or something like that. And Dan tends to work on all of that sort of side of things. But if it's just painted and stuff, it can literally start on with pen and paper. So us guys who kind of draw, we end up drawing stick men with like funny scarves and stuff on a bit of paper. But then it might turn into something bigger and better, because it's just the kind of basis of an idea that formulates the end product, if you like.
Where are the flags actually made, and how does that work?
So at the minute we're diversifying a little bit because of Brexit and because of COVID and different sort of restrictions that we face logistically, I guess. But by and large, we've got a lot of it done in Poland. It's fairly good. Well, it is very good quality for what we pay, and it's often cheaper than anywhere else in the UK. However, we are looking to source more local sort of printers and stuff as well, just because it's the locality. It's not having the problems of getting it through customs or getting it into the country or whatever it might be. So it's a bit of a mixture at the moment.
So Chris, 2016 you set up, and obviously that was during the Ashley years. Clearly there was some friction and some difficulties with the relationship with Ashley and the fans. What was it like for WOR Flags, producing the type of flags that you did? Can you reveal any little secrets?
Yeah, it was an interesting time, and firstly I would like to say that everyone at the club was very supportive of our efforts, certainly on the level that we were interacting with the club. But there was obviously a lot of concern about the ownership of the club and how they were running it at the time, and we did kind of put out a few messages, and a lot of people might not have actually seen too much in what we're doing. Largely it was supportive of Benitez, but there was like subtle messaging behind that, and when the media were getting on my back and kind of supporting Mike Ashley and stuff like that, we were quite keen to sort of fight back a little bit, but just do it in a subtle enough way that wouldn't get us into any real heat, because ultimately we're here to support the team. So we were like kind of trying to tread a fine line, if you like.
Can you give us an example of one of these subtle messages?
Yeah, so we did a display with a lot of sort of words crossed out, I guess. It was like there were sort of not derogatory words, but words that wouldn't really describe the team or the club or the fans, and they were being used a lot in the media at the time, so we kind of picked them apart, and it was like fight, hunger, desire. We had 3 or 4 words that we associate the club with or associate the team with and the fans, so it was kind of like a small dig, as if to say like, well, you're talking nonsense, this is what we're all about, kind of thing.
And of course there was a period of time, the last couple of years of Ashley years, correct us if I'm wrong on the timescale, but WOR Flags just dismantled altogether. There was no flags in the ground.
Yeah, so it was everything that we do in the group's democratic. There are odd occasions, obviously, where things just need to be done, and people make a decision. But with something as large as that, there was a group decision. People decided whether they were keeping season tickets or if they weren't. And some of the lads who've been going for decades, basically, they were giving up their season tickets in protest to Mike Ashley's ownership. And it was a democratic sort of decision that we came to, and we said, well, look, some guys are still going to the ground, they've still got the season tickets, but we're not going to do the displays because we want to make a stance as sort of a collective, if you like, that we are against Mike Ashley's ownership and what he's doing with the club. So in the end, I guess it took that period of time from when Benitez left until Mike Ashley left, I suppose, and it was just a bit of a stance to say, like, we don't support us being run as a business in a shell, an empty shell. Basically, we are a club, we're a community entity, if you like, and it's important that that's kept.
So I know it's probably a bit of an obvious statement, but how would you describe the energy that's been injected into WOR Flags since the new ownership?
It's interesting because I think it would be naive for any of us to say that it wasn't, the fact that we've been taken over by such a rich ownership and a set of people that are clearly very passionate about taking the club to where we believe it can be. That's obviously given us the main injection, but I think just being back for some of us as well. I'm one of the guys that were previously mentioned who gave up the tickets in protest to Mike Ashley, so for me personally, whether that was the Saudis or whether that was like Barry from Baker or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, it was just coming back to be able to support my team, and that sort of vibes fed into the Flags group, and half the lads have come back and lasses, and I think that's given us all a bit of positivity. And then obviously from the first display, when we did first come back, there's been like a swathe of support from within the ground for what we do. And I think at first, when people might have been a bit sceptical about what we do because it's a new group of lads and lasses on the scene, like asking for money to do flags and stuff, I think people are naturally sceptical, but I think we've kind of gained their trust and gained their faith, and that's sort of represented by what we are now capable of doing within the stadium.
I think it's fair to say if WOR Flags and the displays that currently go on in St James's Park aren't the best in the UK or certainly in England, they're one of the best. And we're here tonight in St James's Park. We've got Arsenal on Monday. I think there's a few surprises, and we've got an army of people going to be working around the stadium tonight. So what's happening tonight? Can you describe?
Yeah, so I'll not give too much away, but we are doing a display that's going to basically involve everyone in the stadium apart from the Arsenal fans. So we are keen to sort of get everyone involved and develop a culture at St James's. So hopefully this will help generate that. We have got an army of people in tonight, and it's not just tonight, it's going to be tomorrow afternoon and all of Sunday as well, because just the enormity of the task. Obviously there's 49,000 or so home fans that we need to do something for this display.
Hi, my name is Matt. I'm a Newcastle United supporter for 20 years. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm here for the match against Arsenal on Monday. Just helping WOR Flag set up the display for tomorrow, and can't wait for the match.
It's going to be a lot of foils and foil flags that we are using to generate a sort of mosaic sort of design around a lot of the stadium, and hopefully it's going to be a memorable sight.
What is it for WOR Flags? Is there going to be any changes for WOR Flags going into next season?
There's going to be changes that I think are what we'd probably describe as behind the scenes. We're going to be liaising with the club to kind of sort out our stores and how best we can utilise that. We need to tidy that up as well and get that to a point where we're happy and comfortable with it. But we are also putting together ideas and plans for different types of display that we'd like to do. Again, I'm not going to give too much away on that, but if we can collaborate with the club on that, then it will hopefully be sort of pioneering thing for the United Kingdom, I would say. Maybe it's not so much on the continent, but it'll certainly be one of the first in the UK, and I think that will help put us up there with the very best in the UK at the minute.
How can what would you say to fans who want to get involved by helping financially or even getting involved in putting flags out?
So we've got a website, and we sort of frequently tweet on social media and obviously put Facebook posts out just to say you can donate to us here if you'd like to contribute to the displays. Thankfully we do get a lot of donations with people out of just general goodwill, and that's fantastically appreciated, because that allows us to do everything that we can. In terms of involvement on a night like this, we've got like a core group, and what we do is we try to keep the core group quite restricted of the original sort of members, if you like, to do the main sort of decision making. But then we also have a WhatsApp with helpers. So I guess the best way is for people just to visit the site and maybe just get in touch with us, or even get in touch with us via social media and just say, I would like to get involved, and we'll happily message back and sort of integrate people into the group.
Chris, thanks very much. And I just want to say, and I don't want to sound condescending, I just want to tell you, I just want to say well done to everybody involved. It's just an amazing sight when I'm sat over there in the northwest corner, seeing all these flags. It just makes you swell, just well done.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and yeah, hopefully we can kick on next season and the club can kick on as well.
So that's it. Thanks to Chris Herron, and thanks to all the guys from WOR Flags who were helping here this evening for me to make this particular video. The match has obviously already happened by the time you watch this video, but I'm absolutely certain it'll be a spectacular sight. And if you'd like to get involved with WOR Flags, don't forget you can reach out on their website or on their social media platforms. Don't forget, I know times are hard, but if you can, make a donation, and we're going into next season, and I'm sure things are going to be even better.
Cinco, 7, 8, we were like on the street, that's on the road to play.